Welcome to my Wings of Liberty ladder games, where compared to most of the other players who are cheesers and one-base tryhards, I'm hardly trying. Now the reason I say that is because I like to play a more macro-centric style that involves a lot more bases and longer games, as well as more unit composition and production management, as opposed to unit control, which is what you need for that one-base garbage that most people are doing. The reason I like this is because, number one, my unit control is horrible, and I don't really like that style, which is sort of the reason why my unit control is horrible. And number two, that kind of game just makes... It's just so repetitive and just not even fun to play for me. So that's why I do that. And number two, I'm actually playing Zerg right now as opposed to random, which I usually play. And the reason I'm doing that is because I just had a period of time where I was playing a lot of Terran. That's mostly due to the fact that I stopped playing and I thought that the MMRTK gives me a good chance to get some Terran portraits right there in terms of Terran wins. And right now I want to balance out the Zerg, so I'm going to be playing Zerg for a while. Now some of the things that you can conclude from the fact that I'm playing Zerg is I normally play random, so like this matchup of Zerg versus Protoss, normally Protoss are forced to wall in very, very early. And okay, so we got this scout there going on. So normally Protoss are forced to wall in very early, so they don't, in case that I was Zerg, but normally I'm not. So in my Zerg versus Protoss matchups, they usually do that thing where they wall in as opposed to a normal force fast expand. And it seems like this guy actually did a force fast expand, which is actually really rare in my normal games, but not really rare in this one, because of course he knows that I'm Zerg. And this is a gateway expand actually, so there's actually no chance of a cannon rush going down, which is fortunate. Now what that means is he will be able to put on a lot of pressure with gateway units early on, but he won't be able to cannon rush my base, and he also will not have that +1 attack, which makes Zealots so much more potent against units like Zerglings, because they will be able to kill them in 2 hits. So I just want to keep an eye on whether or not he has an expand, and whether or not he's just doing some kind of silly one-base all-in. Because one-base all-in off of one base, especially when I'm taking this expand as opposed to my natural, is actually pretty hard to defend. So I want to make sure that I'm sort of ready for that. Okay, so I got 16 there, I got 17. And it looks like he doesn't know that I'm expanding. Still trying to block that. And really, it doesn't really matter at this point because he doesn't have the ability to put down any cannons. So even if this one isn't overloaded, it's fine. Okay, so my overlord is extremely late, but that's okay, I guess. I'll do an extractor trick to get the extra queen out. Need that overlord now, and I'll get 2 Zerglings to maintain map control. So he's going to know that I have this at this point, and he potentially could start cannon rushing, but really I got Zerglings coming, so cannon rush definitely not the main problem I have right now. What my problem is probably a 4-gate. Considering how that is, of course, the most annoying thing you can do right now. Okay, so it looks like he is... Can't tell right now because slow overlords are slow. Okay, so at this point I want to rush war in because, well, he has that 4-gate. Okay, so we got the slow overlord here, and it looks like he is taking an expand. And he's got 2 gates, so potential for some pressure. But I don't think that's going to play a major role in this. Ah, shit. I didn't expect that. I did not expect this. Well, I'm gonna lose that queen for sure, but a lot of Zerglings. A lot of Zerglings that I have to make. And he also killed that. So if he doesn't turn around and attack the Lings, then I should be able to clean this up rather easily. His loss, I guess. Although I can't really call that a loss because I did make plenty of Zerglings at this point. Way too many to react to that Zealot pressure. And also this thing is not helping, the fact that it has no health. Also my speed is not done. Speed isn't even started, holy shit. This game is a wreck right now. It's about the biggest wreck that you can get. Alright, so maybe he'll focus down the hatchery with like a 4-gate or something. But I will have roaches. And roaches are, I'd say, good against gateway-centric armies. So I'll get that going. I'll get this. And he probably will be able to take this down, actually. Because really, can't do anything about that. So that's just gonna bleed and slowly heal, hopefully. Get some roaches out. Okay, so I'm hoping he doesn't have a forge, because the Sloverlord isn't exactly in any position to scout right now. I get this one down here to heal the hatchery. It would be nice to know what he's making. Okay, yes, we can do one transfuse, so that's gonna help heal the hatchery up just a little bit. Make one more gas geyser over here. Get this, and of course, creep spread very important in defending bases. So I think we're in an okay position right now. I'll get an extra queen for defense, just because. Okay, so it looks like he still doesn't have his +1, so potential for a large roach attack, and also he doesn't have a gas geyser, which makes me think that he's not going for some kind of air-centric army. You do need that extra gas geyser if you want to do that. So I'm getting this extra queen, so that's gonna help against. Oh, he's getting a second gas geyser now, so that might cause some kind of problems, because right now I'm kind of blind to what tech he's going. Send out another Sloverlord. That's going to help us identify what tech he's going. Potentially deal with it. See, this is a matchup that I'm very uncomfortable with because I never really got much practice with it. Normally I don't get this matchup because the Protoss is sort of forced to wall up, and it just becomes sort of a pain. Now I sort of want to detect whether or not he has hidden expansions, so I'm gonna put these Zerglings on patrol and then see how that comes out. I do have all the gas geysers up, and I'll make one more round of drones, and hopefully that won't be my undoing because, well, Protoss units do hurt a lot. He's going for Immortal, so I do see that he has a Robotech, which means I should probably throw down a Spire at this point. At least before Colossus comes out. Colossus really can ruin someone's day. Now I feel like he'll be delayed because he did do that thing with the Zealots, so he won't be able to get the Colossus out as fast. But the Colossus is still a problem, and he did spend that on cannons, and it looks like it's moving out right now. Actually, that's just the Stalker. It's not a move out. But I still have to be worried about some kind of attack right now. Do that, and also get the gas geysers. Okay, so he's trying to take a third base right now, as opposed to getting that Colossus tech. Don't think I agree with that. Is he noticing the Zealots? Oh, the Colossus Bay just finished! Oh, he's just screwed. If he's not getting Thermal Lance, then I could put on a lot of pain right now. He's got that. Oh, whoops, just lost that. It's okay though. So he doesn't have Thermal Lance at this point, since the Colossus Bay just finished. And I have Roach Hydra, so I should be able to put on quite a lot of pain. What do you mean you can't build there? Come on, build there. Okay, so at least he's gonna lose that fourth, or that third base, as far as I can tell. I'll get roach speed right now. I'll get this. Okay, the trickle of Zerglings, this should be able to take care of the Stalker at the watchtower. Since I don't really need any Stalkers at this point. Stalkers, of course, very, very bad against Zerglings. Unless, of course, you're the proest of the pro blink micros. Okay, we'll just take this and we'll leave. He's not holding on to this. Oh, it's got Colossus. Okay, we're out of here. We don't want to play with the Colossus right now.
We require more minerals. We require more.
Also need another one of these, and just drop that inject. So it seems like he's not trying to chase that down, which is, I would say, a good choice for him, because he can't really catch up to it, even if he wanted to. Now, drone count is looking good. My +1 is done. I'll start the +2 right now. And I feel like we're in a great position right now, because I do have my Corruptors, and also I got my Roach Hydra army. And right now I feel like he's not going to have Thermal Lance when I hit, so my Roach Hydra army is going to be much more effective, because the Colossus is going to be right in front of it. Which means it'll be vulnerable to walk, and it'll also be vulnerable to Corruptors. Okay, let's get that, and get this down here. We don't need a round of injects just yet. So I guess everything should be rallied here. I'll make some more drones. Now this army, what the shit? This is like mass expanding. What's he trying to do? What is he trying to do? Okay, so I managed to eliminate all of his Colossus, which is, I would say at this point, a huge win for me. We'll see what we can do with this next. So probably Infestation Pit is a nice idea to advance our tech anymore. I'll do that. I guess that's where all the roaches went. That base is still there. I'll start pulling drones down to this base, because the other base is kind of getting mined out. Where are my roaches? Roaches are still here. Hydra's out back. Roaches up front. And this is just sort of what happens. You can even vomit on the Stalkers at this point. Oh, I can vomit on that. Yeah, Immortals, not a great choice. The Immortals, I feel like they're good against Zerg on some situations, but most situations they're bad. Okay, so we managed to do that, which is actually great. See what kind of response he can come up with this. Probably Dark Templar at this point. So I'm gonna start preparing for that. Because really at this point I feel like I'm in a good enough position that I can just start doing things like that. I mean, what else can he do? He's got 2 Immortals and he's on 2 bases, whereas I'm on 4. And I sort of just made that... Oh, there's the Dark Templars. Okay. So I was right. It's the Dark Templars. That actually went in a terrible, terrible angle. So I guess I'm gonna lose a lot of this army, but really at this point I have more than enough to spare. I mean, look at that giant buildup of resources. Normally you would say that's a bad thing, but right now it's just, I have that buildup because I'm max up, not because I have bad macro. So let's just go ahead and take even more bases, because you can never have too much macro at this point. And his Dark Templar count does kind of worry me, because like it's just way too much for me to deal with static defense. But I do like the fact that I'm sort of containing him on one base. Okay, so he's gonna try and make a move out right now. Pretty much a last ditch effort move out at this point. Well, there's all this crap. going for Immortal. Oh, so he's got that, and he's trying to establish a third right now. Got it. That's a good position for me to be in, because number one, there's no DTs, and number two, you do not understand how fast Hydras can melt Archon. Like, this is a straight up 1A, and you can see how fast shit is dying right now. Well, that was one of the rarer opportunities where I got to play a Zerg versus Protoss, and I would say I'm quite happy with that, because of how it turned out. It was a macro game like I liked it, and also I got to use Roach Hydra against a proper Protoss expand, for the most part.